Hello and welcome to our fourth and final episode in our pro streaming series, and this time CyborgAngel will be sharing her top tips and tricks if you want to start your journey to becoming a pro streamer. Are you ready?
I am ready.
I've got plenty of questions here that have been sent in.
Okay.
First one, where to start in terms of games that you should be playing? What's a nice little entry?
I think that anyone who's starting to stream should play something that they are really comfortable with and enjoy a lot. That's something that you're going to end up being able to talk about more, that if you don't have very many people watching you and it's kind of a dead channel to begin with, you are going to enjoy it anyway, because it's something that you do if you were offline.
Exactly. So if it would be something you'd be doing anyway, so you might as well stream it and have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah, exactly. The only other thing I would add to that is multiplayer games. So stuff like Fortnite or PUBG or Overwatch. A lot of the time with those games, you have to focus a lot on what you're doing in the game. If there is chat that pops up, you may not see it. Whereas a story game, you'll be able to comment on even the colour of the walls in the game and go, oh, that's pretty, as you walk past, and just try and keep yourself talking and just give your view on anything that you go through in a story. It's a lot easier than a multiplayer game.
Yeah, there's plenty, like you said, to comment on as well, isn't there? So if you do get stuck for something to talk about, there's always something that you can remark upon. Lovely.
Exactly.
Okay, well, you touched upon it a little bit there about having sort of a dead channel, so to speak. How do you interact then when you've got low viewers and there's no chat? How do you keep that momentum going? We touched upon it a little bit there, but what would your top tips be?
I mean, we've all been there. When I first started, I had to deal with it as well. It was having 3 viewers, which was you, your chat bot, and maybe your mum that you told to turn on the stream in the front room. So you've got one extra person that it looks like is watching you. But when there is no one talking to you, again, it is about commenting. It's about, you've got literally 10 seconds. When a viewer comes to your channel, it's first impressions. If no one's speaking and if you're just dead silent, really focused, they're going to leave and go, oh, well, this is boring. Yeah. But if you're constantly remarking or commenting on anything that's happening around you, or even just run with a story, somebody's going to be more interested to find out what else you have to say. So you could be getting chased by a really scary person in a game and the enemy's after you, and you could go, well, oh, I owed him money last week, so he's after me right now, and just make it a running joke and kind of run with something. Yeah. Anything that you can put together creatively to try and make it more funny or even more serious, or just show emotion. So don't just play it with a dead face. If you're playing something that is sad or is really funny or is really stressful, show that emotion, put it across. Anything that you're thinking in your head, you're always thinking something, just say it.
I'm chuckling there because I'm thinking all sorts of rubbish that goes around in my head. Goodness knows what I'd come up with.
You know, to a certain point, say what's in your head. So
I think it's important, like I said, that to show your personality. There's so many people streaming, isn't there? How do you stand out? If you've got a bit of personality and people know that if they're watching you, then they're going to get a bit of humour, or you might come out with something a bit random or a bit silly, but that's probably why they're there, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So that brings us on really nicely to the next question, then. How do you start to get noticed?
So with certain games, and I would say this is a really big thing, when you're a small streamer, if you're going to play something that hundreds or thousands of other streamers are playing at the same time, you're going to be right at the bottom of that directory and no one's going to really see your channel. They'll be scrolling down page after page after page and they're never really going to spot you at the bottom as you have or start with low viewers. You want to pick a game that's either a classic and always has traffic, so games that people want to re-watch or replay and they see you playing it, so that again has good traffic, or a new game that's come out but something that isn't overstreamed, so something that you still enjoy. Always make it something that you're going to enjoy because people want to see how passionate you are about it, but something that you know you're going to be one of the first channels that they spot. So I would say the best exposure would be if you're within the top 20 streams of that particular game.
This is a question from me, are there then like key times of the day then that you could do that? So perhaps there's less people online, or there's times where there's fewer people doing certain types of games. How does that work?
So Twitch is generally a US, or was a US platform. It's mainly got a lot of US viewers. So prime time, where there is a ton more streamers streaming, is usually afternoon to evening to late night, or going on midnight for us in the UK. If you stream during those times, it can be a little bit more of a struggle, or it could be completely different. If you've picked the right game, you could actually gain more viewers, because there are more viewers as well as streamers, and you've just picked that right game to play at the right time. I would say if you're playing something that you know you may get drowned out in that particular category, then go for an earlier time in the day in the UK, because that's when some of the other streamers will tend to stop.
Yeah, or sleeping.
Or sleep.
Okay, so I guess it's about experimenting as well, isn't it? And
yeah,
just trying to find out when people are on and when they might...
What fits you,
How long did it take you then to sort of start to get noticed? For people that might be, and they might be feeling a bit disheartened and thinking nobody tunes in, like how long realistically did it take you before you actually had followers? It's
a grind. Yeah. It's always a grind. I think the first couple of months of streaming, I was lucky if I had 10 viewers. And you just continue to power through it. It's about being consistent. If you're consistent, those people are going to come back. If you're streaming and then take 3 weeks off, you might come back and they've found another channel. So those regulars you had, those 10 people that you got up to, you only get 3 again. And it's you, your chatbot and your mum. Again, you started from scratch. So you want to keep it consistent. But it can take months at a time, so don't get disheartened. And when you do climb in numbers, viewers are always like this. It's up and down, and you just got to ride that wave until you get a gradual and slow but steady increase.
Please tell me that your mum does actually watch your streams.
She used to. She used to.
Okay, she used to. She can't be bothered anymore. I'm joking.
I feel that like technology in the way that I've turned the stream now with virtual reality is maybe a little bit too advanced for her. Tech-wise.
Well, she's seen that, you know, that now you've gone on to flourish, she perhaps doesn't need to be there all the time.
That's it, yeah.
Perhaps we need to get your mum streaming as well. We'll do a special series with her. This is a really important question, actually, because you spoke about getting your followers, being consistent. What about social media? People want to know that you can talk to them, that they can get in contact with you, that you're putting content up. So how important is social media alongside you streaming?
It's very important. I would say that it's like people say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You want to make sure that you're dipping into Twitter, to Instagram, create a Facebook page. You may have no followers to begin with, but if you use the right hashtags and you post daily, you will get more followers on there, which will either branch over to Twitch, or if you are streaming and you remind them to follow you on socials, then if they don't see you go live on the platform you're on, they're going to see it on your social media when you post when you're going to be live next or when you've gone live. So yeah, it all branches over, and I think that being consistent with that, you'll get a growth everywhere, and it all sort of amounts to one on the stream.
What about interacting with other streamers? Is that helpful at all in terms of building your profile and connections and getting people to notice you?
Yes, it is. I think that anybody who's looking to stream should spend a decent amount of time in other people's streams to begin with. Not necessarily, and what you don't want to do is go in and go, hey, I stream too, because that's apparently, or it is a really bad etiquette.
Faux pas.
Yes, but what you want to do is you want to spend enough time in other people's channels and understand the platform and how they work in order to know what's going to suit you. You want to take from it what you can turn into your personality and your stream, but you want to also focus on being very different at the same time as doing that. Standing out means creating something where somebody else watches you and goes, I wish I thought of that. That's going to make you really excel and stand out as well.
To be creative and original. Okay, this is a really good question. A few of my viewers want me to reply to DMs, direct messages, and want more time off stream. What should I do?
This is very common when you first start streaming and you sort of pick up to, you know, 10, 20, 30 viewers. You will get people who will expect to play games offline with you, see you as kind of a friend, and want you to reply to everything that they send you. Don't feel pressured to do this. People in your stream, you've got to remember it's a one-way window. They see you every day. You're still getting to know them, and it takes longer for you to know them. direct messages can sometimes lead to people needing, or certain viewers expecting those replies, and then it becomes a little bit more stressful. Instead of you concentrating on streaming, you're thinking, oh, I've got to come off the stream and then I've got 20 messages from 20 different people who are new viewers from my channel. Try and keep it, if you can, I would say, try and keep it to just your stream. They'll see you when you're next online. They'll catch up when you're live next, and that will keep them coming back instead of just expecting it to go to, you know, off-stream game time.
Yeah, I think it's an important point, isn't it? Because if you took time to interact directly with each of those, you'd never get anywhere, would you? And it kind of defeats the whole object. So some top tips there. I have an active chat and need moderators. Who should I pick? Good question.
Very good question. I think everyone learns the hard way with this usually, but if I was to give any advice, I would say someone that you know very well in real life would be great to start out with. Have them watch you, have them manage your chat. If you get trolls or anything, they can get rid of them or time them out or warn them. What you don't want to do is you don't want to just pick someone who's new to the stream or has been very active for the last couple of weeks, but you don't really know them very well, because people can change over time, and you'll find that some people will ask for moderator for the wrong reasons. Whenever you mod anyone, make sure that you say that it is temporary and that they're helping out temporary. So if it does go wrong later down the line, you can be like, well, thank you very much for helping me. It was temporary. I'm going to change the roles up and switch it around. And then that way it isn't that awkward, hey, you're not doing a good job, get out of here sort of thing.
There's a lot of trust involved, isn't there?
There is.
It's really important.
Yes.
Trolls, you mentioned there a bit. Is there a lot of trolls on there? I wouldn't have expected it was that rife, or can it be? So you do need somebody that you really trust and that's going to have your back as well, I suppose.
Yeah, once you get an active chat, once you're looking at the chat every couple of minutes and someone's talking, you do want somebody there to get rid of any unwanted messages, because it can happen. The internet is full of trolls, but I would say when it comes to trolls, the worst thing you can do is bite. So if they say something that's not nice or upsetting, pretend you haven't even seen it. Don't say anything, because what they want is a reaction. Even if it's just a facial expression, that's all they want, and they're going to do more if they get that.
So just be careful and responsible. I think that's a really top tip there as well. Is it worth attending events? There's loads of events that you can be going to, isn't there? So I guess, firstly, is it important to go? And secondly, how do you pick which ones to go to? Because it can become quite costly, can't it, travelling up and down the country and overseas?
It can. It's very beneficial, especially once you've got a regular audience and you're a couple of months into it at least. I would say try and go to a local event. There's always local events in the UK. There's Insomnia, there's EGX. You guys at Scan do a Scan summer party, but also I travel abroad, so I'll go to TwitchCon, which is in America. I've gone to DreamHack, which is in Sweden, and it really does add up. You meet other streamers there, you meet other people that are the same size stream as you, and you can kind of relate and talk about the different problems you have or the different ideas that you can share as well. So yeah, really good to get to know other people at these events.
Definitely get out there and get stuck in with the community, make some friends. Well, listen, some amazing tips there. Thank you very much indeed.
No problem.
For people that are watching and want to know how they can keep up to date with your journey, they can watch you stream, etc., chat to you on your socials, how do we get in touch?
It's either on my social media, it's CyborgAngel with 2 L's. So you want to put 2 L's on the end. Unfortunately, CyborgAngel was taken. Or if you want to watch my live streams, it's twitch.tv/CyborgAngel.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. It's been really lovely talking to you and getting all your top tips and an insight into your life.
Thank you for having me.
And if you want to get hold of any of the products we've featured in any of our Pro Streaming Series videos, you can do at scan.co.uk. And if you've missed any of them, then don't worry, because they're on our YouTube channel, so you can watch them anytime. Make sure you subscribe and like, and you won't miss any more content in the future. See you soon.